We're now in the 9th Perek of Shmuel Beis. And here, just like we said, that David has gathered and anointed all of the people within his cabinet, and all of them are high stature, tzaddikim, good people, and even his children are considered kohanim. They are princes, and they are doing the ratzon of Hashem. So too, David continues along those lines by looking to find Hachi yesh od asher nosar lebeis Shaul. Is there anyone left in the house of Shaul, the kingship that he ultimately replaced, but he is giving kavod to that kingship as well as to his best friend. Remember, David HaMelech is tzedakah u'mishpat. He does mishpat, he does what's righteous, but then if needed, he does tzedakah. And similarly here, what is righteous is that he takes everything away from Shaul, the king. We know the Radak mentions that in the past, kings would be replaced, everybody would be wiped out, all the lands would be taken over, and that was the way that was befitting to have new royalty, new blood. But here, David HaMelech is going backwards, and he's saying, wait a second, no, I made a promise with my friend, and I'm going to stick by that promise and give kavod to the Beis Shaul, even though it was someone who ultimately did not always do what was right for his kingship. And Beis Shaul, in the Beis Shaul, there was a Eved. He is an Eved Knani. He is not a Jewish slave, and his name is Tziva. And they bring him and they say to him, Tziva, yes, ha'efes od ish lebeis Shaul. You worked in Shaul's kingdom. Tell us, is there anybody left in Shaul's kingdom? Anybody in his family? Now we know that there are 7 people left. There are the five children of Merab, and 2 from Ritzbah Bas Aya, and there is. I'd like to do Eseimo Chesed Elokim. I want to do Chesed. If you hear the word Chesed repeated, it is not a coincidence. Chesed Shel Emes. It is a Chesed. Shaul is dead. He doesn't have to be doing this. He is doing this Kedas as a Chesed, because that's what we have. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mahu Rachum, Avat HaRachum. But he's doing this also when he speaks to Tziva, he's speaking as HaMelech. Perhaps it's the greater Melech. Perhaps HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving a seal of approval that he's doing this. But he is the Melech. It is all business here. Does he have a child? Are there any remaining people in Beis Shaul? Because we know that they were hiding. And they were hiding for their lives because clearly they were on the losing team. Vayomer Tziva od ben Leonasan nechei raglayim. There is one, he is a cripple. We know that the maid servant dropped him when they were on the run, and we know who he is. He is Mepiboshes. Vayomer lo hamelech efahu, where is he? Bring him to me. And he is in the house of Beis Machir, Beis Amiel, below Davar. Below Davar either is a real place, or it is suggesting you have nothing to worry about. This guy's lo davar. There's nothing good going on. There's nothing to talk about. He's not any threat to you, my king. You don't have to worry. But everything here is Bayomer HaMelech, Atziva El HaMelech. This is official business. This is not a relationship that you see anything but David being the Melech. And we know from Shaul HaMelech. Shaul was mochel on his kavod as a melech. He left the big important decisions oftentimes to the people. That wasn't in his personality. He was a big Talmid Chacham, and he was greater than anybody else, v'shechmo v'mala. But it was not a good for his kingship to be respectful or to show any anivos. So vayishlach hamelech David vayakachehu mi Beis Machir, and that's exactly what he does. David takes him from Beis Machir ben Amiel Melodavar. Now, as soon as Mepiboshes, who is Ben Yonasan, Ben Shaul, highlighting you lucked out in one regard, not so much in the other. There is the connection to Yehonasan, but also to Shaul. But look what happens. The pasuk switches. There is no melech associated. Now it's El David. David, who is as a person, the person who is kulo chesed, who was close, who had made that promise that he was going to put Yonatan, he was going to be the Mishneh LaMelech, the relationship that they had that was Ava She'ino Tzluya B'davar, the epitome of true love. Vayipol al Pana V'ishtachavu, and Mephibosheth sees David and he bows down. Vayomer David Mephibosheth, you could just imagine. He says, Hine Avdecha, and he says, Al Tira, don't worry. Ki aso eseh imcha chesed. You have nothing to worry about. I'm going to do chesed for you. It's going to be okay. I'm going to give back all the land. Everything that Shaul had is going to go to you. And you will eat bread on my table forever. You don't have to worry. You're going to be a wealthy guy again. And you don't have to worry. You'll always have a place. And you will have a place in my heart. You'll have a place. You'll have your land. Even though I could have taken it all away, I'm not going to. And this is David. David, you hear the poetic beauty in the words. And what does he say? What are you doing? I'm just a dog. What are you showing it like a dead dog like me? Which is so beautiful because remember, David lowered himself to Shaul and called himself a dog. And look what's happened. Those beautiful words of anivus, of modesty, have come full circle. Vayikra HaMelech El Tziva. So now he calls Tziva Na'or Shaul. And he associates him completely just with Shaul. Vayomer Elav Kol Asher LeShaul L'chol Beisi Vayso Nasati LeBen Adonecha. Everything that was belonging to Shaul is going to go back to Shaul. And you will be him. He's your master. And, Siba presented himself in such a way that seems that he was, no, I'm not a slave, I'm a higher regard. And David is lowering his stature and saying, Siba, no, this is not how it works. You and your sons, you're going to work for him. You're going to work for him and his children and all of that. You're going to take care of him. And that's what he's going to live on. And Mephibosheth is going to eat my bread with me. Now, Siba had 15 children and 20 slaves. He was no longer considered to be a slave. He thought of himself as a citizen. He put himself in a high stature. And that is definitely a problem. And it was a problem that David could see. By Yomer Tziva El HaMelech, again, back to Melech, Kachol Asher Yetzaveh Adonai HaMelech Es Abdo. Yes, of course, I'm going to do everything for you, my king. But clearly, he's not giving the same regard to Mephibosheth, but he says, Mephibosheth ochel al shulchani ke'echad mibnei HaMelech. He will eat just like one of the children, the king's sons. He does not give Mephibosheth, he just doesn't give him the same level of respect, and it is obvious. And David, is putting him in his place, but unfortunately, how does the Perek end? Mephibosheth ben Katan, he had a ben Katan, and his name was Micha. B'chol moshav beit Tziva avadim leMephibosheth, and all the members of Tziva's household worked for Mephibosheth. It doesn't say that Mephibosheth was anything. Everybody else worked for him, but Tziva in his head was definitely not a slave, and he didn't want to be treated as such. And Mephibosheth Yoshev Yerushalayim, he was able to live in Yerushalayim at the shulchan, at the table of David Tamid, always. V'hu piseach shtei raglav, but he was maimed in his two legs, and that maimeness is definitely an issue. That issue is something that he has to contend with, and we will see what happens going forward. But clearly what we have is David HaMelech at his best. He is kind, he is good, he is taking care. He got rid of the other piseach and the iver of the statues, and now he's doing it again. He's helping in this way, in the positive. One way I've thought, he's so ruthless, but no, he has a heart exactly where a heart has to be. Unlike Shaul, who had kindness, but misplaced kindness here. The kindness is exactly where it needs to be, and we will see what happens in the next parak.